They had to change the costume after the first season, as the original Wonder Woman comic debuted during World War II. The producers of the 1970s television show initially decided to set the show during that same time frame. Diana Prince even had a slightly different costume, with a resplendent eagle in the center. A cheeky nod to America, maybe. But when the series moved to a different chain, everything changed. After the show's first season, ABC no longer wanted to spend money on expensive World War II sets, meaning it ended up removing the series from its schedules. Fortunately for fans, CBS acquired the rights to Mavilla Woman instead and changed the scene of the action to the present. And that wasn't the only change they made. They updated the famous costume, swapping the eagle for the golden stripes. Fortunately, it was also more flattering to Carter. Bracelets have a fascinating history. Wonder Woman's father was actually quite an interesting guy. William Moulton Marston was a psychologist who, for a time, had a three-person relationship with his wife, Elizabeth, and former student Olive Byrne, something quite unusual in 1920. And since Byrne often wore large bracelets, Marston paid him a sort of homage by incorporating jewelry into her Wonder Woman design. But that is not all. Marston also had a particular interest in tying people up. And this also ended up appearing in the Wonder Woman story. In a 1942 interview with the Family Circle program, he said, "Wonder Woman and her sisters, hers Amazons, hers have to wear heavy bracelets to remind them of what happens to a girl when she lets a man conquer her. And if Wonder Woman ever took off the bracelets, she could lose her sanity." All of this was changed for the show, unsurprisingly, where instead the accessories are made from feminum, a metal found in the Amazons' home on Paradise Island. But who knew that jewelry had such a daring backstory? Bathing suits turned out to be a problem. Have you ever admired the outfits that appear in Wonder Woman? Well, you have Don Feld, aka Donald Lee Feld, to thank. He even won an Emmy for his work on the Wonder Woman episode, Ant Slews, 77. But despite all of Feld's design know-how, the one thing he couldn't do was make a Wonder Woman bikini that Carter wouldn't drop. There were many, wardrobe failures when it came to bikini. And that would not be acceptable at all on national television. So Feld eventually made Wonder Woman's underwater outfit a skin-tight blue wetsuit. To be honest, it's probably easier to fight crime wearing the suit than wearing a bikini. A doppelganger also wore the suit. Yes, like many Hollywood stars, Linda Carter had a stunt double on set. Jeannie Epper was the stunt double to take on that role, although she had a setback before she got there. Incredibly, Epper claimed that she had lost a job at Bionic Woman for having the wrong size breasts. And even when she auditioned to become Carter's stunt double, she had to show up in a bathing suit. But in the end everything worked out, according to Epper herself. Speaking to NPR in 2005, she reflected, "I think the reason it worked so well is that I could move exactly like Linda moved, and she was different than how I moved. She moved me more like Lindsay Wagner. More athletic and sporty. And I just learned how to become Linda. It's like when an actor adapts to the character." Epper added, "Actually, you have to become an actress. And you have to know how not to look at the camera and yet not look like you're not looking at the camera." She also mentioned that she and Carter had become friends and said, "Linda and I bonded quite early. I'm an observer at first and I want to know how actresses will feel about me." Carter had to keep the weight off of her. Being Wonder Woman may sound like fun, but behind the scenes, Carter needed to be incredibly disciplined. In order for that famous costume to fit episode after episode, she had to maintain a strict diet and exercise program. "I had to stay in shape. Because when you wear a costume like that you can't eat donuts. But I was in my 20s and had the body for that, which I totally took for granted," Carter told the Daily Express in 2010. However, The actress may not have wanted to radically lose weight either. In any case, she doesn't like the way so many female stars are forced to lose so much weight. "I'm so sick of seeing these anorexic actresses," she told Extra in 2007. "These people are crazy. Anywhere else in the country besides New York and Los Angeles, they would be in a hospital." Carter now promotes good exercise and healthy eating. In 2018, she told Energy Times magazine, "I eat what I want. I just reduced the portion size. It's all about portion control, portion control, portion control. Now I have a better relationship with food, but I am struggling with my weight." There was a cowgirl variant of the costume. One of Lynda Carter's favorite episodes of Wonder Woman is The Bushwhackers from the first season. Why? Well, she had none other than Roy Rogers. And that cameo of the Western legend moved the protagonist of the program. "Working with Roy was exciting because he was a huge fan. And I still have the script that he signed for me," Carter told the Daily Express in 2010. "But there's something else you need to know about that installment of the show. It included an outfit from the show. Wonder Woman, much more modest and cowboy style. That set was spectacular in itself, by the way, but why was the change made in the first place? Perhaps it was because the normal costume does not exactly lend itself to riding." It is also rumored that Rogers, with his conservative views, insisted that his co-star show less skin. The outfit is popular with drag queens. When Carter sat down to chat with Out magazine in 2012, she was asked, "Do you remember the first time she saw a drag queen dressed as Wonder Woman?" And the star recalled, "I remember the first time my son saw one. He was with me once when I was singing in San Francisco, and a great drag queen came to the show dressed to the nines. She looked great. My son's reaction was priceless and we loved it," Carter continued. "I'll say some of the funniest I've seen are Wonder Woman's drag queens with big bellies and tons of chest hair. Those are the best and I have had many opportunities to see that image." Carter did stunts with the costume. Turns out Carter was a secret daredevil when she made Wonder Woman. And here is an example of it. In a scene where Diana was supposed to hang from a helicopter. Epper naturally took it to be her signal to step forward. But when it became obvious on camera that the doppelganger was a doppelganger, Carter decided to do it all herself. Producers were reportedly livid. And that happened despite the fact that Carter had a brush with disaster during her first stunt scene on the set of Wonder Woman. In 1976, she told Johnny Carson that, in one particular scene, she had been tasked with jumping with cables over a car. However, she misjudged the jump and ended up crashing into the vehicle. "Oh. You have to remember that this was a time when they hardly let people know there were doubles," Epper recalled in his 2005 Nepalese Rupees interview. "For many, many, many years, all the actors and actresses said they did their own stunt work." Of course, in Carter's case, that was partially true.